Hello everybody, today we are going to explain chapter 13, Analytic Geometry. Please focus well with me while I am explaining this chapter. It's a very important chapter. First, we start by the objectives of our lesson. In this lesson, at the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify the relative position of two lines, whether they are parallel or perpendicular, I mean by it here. Also, you will be able to calculate the distance between 2 points, knowing their coordinates. And finally, you will be able to find the coordinates of the point of intersection of two lines, knowing their equations. We start by the first point, parallel and perpendicular lines. So let D of equation y equal ax plus b and d prime of equation y equal a prime x plus b prime be two given lines. First, d is parallel to d prime if the slope of d is equal to the slope of d prime. When two lines have equal slopes, so they are parallel. Furthermore, d is perpendicular to d prime when the product of their slopes is -1. We multiply the slopes of d and d prime, the answer should be -1, only -1. It can't be -2 or -3 or any other real number. It should be only -1. For example, d of equation y equal 3x plus 1 and d prime of equation y equal to 3x minus 5. The slope of d prime is -3. However, the slope of d is 3, so they are equal. The slopes of d and d prime are equal, so these lines are parallel. Furthermore, in example 2, d of equation y equal 2x minus 1 and d prime of equation y equal minus half x plus 3. The slope of d is 2 and the slope of d prime is minus half. They are not equal, so and d prime are not parallel. However, if we multiply the slope of d and the slope of d prime, the answer will be -1. -1, this indicates that d and d prime are perpendicular. Now we will move for the second point in our chapter. Here we are going to find the distance between 2 points, knowing their coordinates. So let A of coordinates xa, ya and B of coordinates xb, yb be any 2 points in the orthonormal system. X prime or x, y prime or y. xa, ya and xb, yb are given numbers. The distance between A and B, or sometimes we call it the length of the segment AB, is defined as follows by the following formula. It's the square root of xb minus xa squared plus yb minus ya, all of it squared. Note that here we can't simplify the square and the radical since we have a plus between them. In case it's a multiplication, we can simplify. But in this formula we can't simplify, so we are going to substitute xb and xa, yb and ya by their given values. Then we calculate the value squared, then we calculate the value of the square root. We can't here simplify the square root and the radical. Also in this formula we can write xa minus xb squared. We can switch xa minus xb, ya minus yb. It doesn't matter here since we have a square. It doesn't matter if we write xa minus xb squared plus ya minus yb, all of it squared. Now I will give you some examples to know how to simplify in this formula, or how to calculate the value of the distance between A and B. For example, Find the length of AB in each of the following cases. Now we are going to solve these three parts of the example. First, applying the formula. Length of AB is xb minus xa, all of it squared, plus yb minus ya squared. A of coordinates 1, 3, and B of coordinates 2, 4. We are going only to substitute these coordinates in the given formula. xb is 2, xa 1, 2 minus 1, all of it squared. yb minus ya, yb is 4, minus ya 3, 4 minus 3 squared, 2 minus 1 squared, it's 1 squared 1, 4 minus 3 squared, it will be 1 squared 1, radical 1 plus 1, it's radical 2 centimeters. In part 2, also applying the formula, we have the coordinates of A are minus 1, 5, the coordinates of B are 2, minus 6. Substituting these coordinates in the formula, xb is 2 minus xa is minus 1, so it will be minus 1, all of it squared, plus yb, it's minus 6, minus ya, it's minus 5. Here we have 2 plus 1, all of it squared, 3 squared. However, minus 6 minus 5, it's minus 11, all of it squared. But remember that the square eliminates the minus, so it will be 11, all of it squared. 3 squared plus 11 squared, it's 130. Radical 130, it can't be simplified. Finally, also applying the formula length of AB, we have A of coordinates minus 2, minus 9, B of coordinates minus 1, minus 2. xb is minus 1, minus xa minus 2, plus yb, it's minus 2, minus ya minus 9. Minus 1 minus 2, it will be 1 squared. Minus 2 minus 9, it's 7 squared. So the answer will be radical 50. Remember that 50 equals to 5 squared times 2. We can simplify it from radical. So radical 50 will be 5 radical 2. Finally, we are going to explain how to find the coordinates of the point of intersection of two lines. Let D of equation y equal to ax plus b and D prime of equation y equal to a prime x plus b prime. To find the coordinates of the point of intersection of D and D prime, we solve this system: y equal to ax plus b, y equal to a prime x plus b prime, using the easiest method, which is by comparison. Here the slope a and b, the y-intercept, the slope a prime and b prime, the y-intercept for d prime, are all given. I will give you some examples to know how to find the coordinates of the point of intersection of two lines. Here we are going to find the coordinates of I, the point of intersection between D and D prime. In the first example, d of coordinates y equal to x minus and d prime of equation y equal to x plus 3. In the second part, d of equation y equal 4x minus 1 and d prime of equation y equal 3x plus 2. The solution of these two parts. 1. We should indicate the method, which is by comparison. We solve in the following way. Y equal to y. We mean by it here, y of d is equal to y of d prime. This y corresponds for d, this y corresponds for d prime. At the point of intersection, y of d is the same as y of d prime. Remember that here, d of equation y equal 2x minus 1 and d prime of equation y equal x plus 3. Now we have an equation in x only. We can solve this equation to find the value of x. We move x for the left side and the numbers for the right side. The answer will be x equal to 4. But remember that to find the coordinates, x is only the abscissa. We should find the value of y also. So we substitute x equal to 4 in the equation of d, for example. We can substitute it in the equation of d prime. We will have the same answer. The equation of d is y equal 2x minus 1 as it's written here. So y equal 2, instead of x we put 4, 2 times 4 minus 1, the answer will be 7. Finally, the coordinates of I are 4, 7. For the second part, also we should indicate the method similarly by comparison. We put y equal to y. Remember that in the second part, the equation of the line D was y equal 4x minus 1 and that of d prime y equal 3x plus 2. So y equal to y means 4x minus 1 equal 3x plus 2. Moving x for the left side and numbers for the right side, we have x equal to 3. Also, we should find the value of y. So we substitute x equal to 3 in the equation of d. As I said previously, we can substitute x equal to 3 in the equation of d prime. The answer will be 4 times 3 minus 1, which is equal to 11. And thus the coordinates of I are 3, 11. As a homework for you, you have exercise 1, parts A and B. Exercise 2, parts C and D. And exercise 3, parts A and B. I will explain these exercises, how to solve them. These exercises are page 150. In exercise 1, the question is, in each of the following cases determine the equation of the line parallel to you and passing through the point A. Remember that to find the equation of a given line, we need a point and a slope. The point here is given, it's the point A. However, the two lines are parallel. Using the property of parallel lines, they have equal slopes. So the slope is also given and the point also given. So we can find the equation using the point slope equation. Y minus ya equals slope into x minus xa. In exercise 2, the same question, but here we have the two lines are perpendicular. So we can find the slope using the formula slope of d times the slope of d prime equal to -1, and the point is given. In exercise 3, we should calculate the length of AB segment using the formula radical xb minus xa square plus yb minus ya square. We can apply the formula directly to find the length of AB. Hope you are good and safe. Please study well this chapter, and I am here ready to answer any questions regarding this chapter.